Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You wake up in the same bed, in the same home, with the same responsibilities, but something feels different. The world hasn't changed, you have. You think differently. You see possibilities where others see problems. You move with quiet confidence, clarity and calm. Money begins to flow into your life, not through luck, but through alignment. Because now your thoughts, emotions and energy are tuned to a frequency called abundance. That's the secret the wealthy have known all along. Wealth isn't first built in your bank account, it's built in your mind. In this audiobook, How to Think Like a Millionaire, The Hidden Key to Wealth, you'll discover what truly separates those who only dream about success from those who live it every day. This isn't about chasing money, it's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts it. It's about learning to think, act, and believe at a level that commands wealth to follow. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Mindset of Abundance. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast field at sunrise. The world is still, the air is cool. Before you lies endless space, untouched, unclaimed, full of potential. That field is your mind, and what you choose to plant there today will grow into the wealth, peace, and purpose you'll live with tomorrow. Most people wake up every day and see only what's missing. They see bills, problems, limitations. They count what they don't have instead of noticing what they do. And in doing so, they unknowingly lock themselves in a prison built from scarcity, a mindset that whispers, "There's not enough." But the truth is this: there is no shortage, there is no lack, there is only the limitation of your own vision. Wealth in its purest form begins as an idea, an invisible seed planted in thought. And the moment you believe in possibility, that seed begins to grow. The difference between the poor and the wealthy isn't found in opportunity, it's found in perception. Two people can live in the same world, face the same challenges, and hold the same potential, yet one sees walls and the other sees doors. The walls are real, yes, but so are the doors. The question is, which will you choose to see? To think like a millionaire, you must first unlearn the quiet lies society has taught you about money. You were told that wealth belongs only to the lucky, the gifted, or the ruthless. You were told that success requires struggle, sacrifice, or moral compromise. You were told to work harder, not smarter, to chase, not attract. But millionaires don't think that way. They see wealth as a state of mind, not a distant goal. They understand that abundance isn't something you acquire, it's something you align with. Think about this: every invention, every company, every fortune began as an idea. Someone, somewhere, decided to believe in a possibility no one else could see. Before the money came, the mindset came first. That's what separates those who wait from those who create. Let's bring this closer to home. Picture two people standing under the same sky during a rainstorm. One curses the weather and runs for shelter. The other opens their hands, lifts their face, and feels gratitude because they see water that will nourish the earth, feed crops, and bring life. Both experience the same rain, but only one understands abundance. This is the first step in thinking like a millionaire, shifting from scarcity consciousness to abundance awareness. You stop asking, "Why don't I have enough?" and start asking, "How can I create more?" When you think this way, something inside you changes. Your energy rises. You start noticing opportunities that were always there, but hidden from your old mindset. It's like learning to see in color after living in black and white. Let me tell you a truth that most never realize. Money doesn't create abundance. Abundance creates money. Because abundance isn't about possessions, it's about perception. It's not what you own, it's what you see. A millionaire mindset doesn't begin with $1, it begins with gratitude. Gratitude expands awareness, and awareness expands opportunity. When you feel rich in spirit, you begin to attract richness in form. The law is simple. Whatever you focus on grows. Focus on lack, and lack multiplies. Focus on possibility, and abundance finds its way to you through people, ideas, timing, and synchronicities that seem almost magical. But they're not magic. They're the natural reflection of your inner state. Here's something worth remembering. Your outer world is always mirroring your inner one. If your thoughts are chaotic, your life will be too. If your mind is clear and open, life becomes a mirror of that clarity. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, what story have I been telling about money? Have I been seeing the world through scarcity or through abundance? If you've been taught to fear money, to chase it, or to feel unworthy of it, that ends now. Because the truth is, wealth doesn't come to those who need it most. It comes to those who are ready for it. And readiness begins in the mind. Thinking like a millionaire means thinking in terms of expansion. It means believing that value can always be created, that possibilities are infinite, and that your ideas, your mind, are the most powerful assets you'll ever own. Abundance doesn't ask, what can I get? It asks, what can I give? Because when you give value, you receive. When you contribute to the world finds ways to give back. That's why wealthy people don't compete. They create. They don't beg for opportunity. They build it. They understand that every person, every idea, every effort holds the potential for multiplication. And here's the secret. The moment you shift from survival thinking to creative thinking, the rules of your life begin to change. You move from fear to faith, from worry to wisdom, from lack to limitless possibility. If you want to think like a millionaire, you must stop asking for permission to believe in yourself. You don't need the world to validate your vision. You only need the courage to trust it. Remember this, abundance isn't about luck, timing, or chance. It's about alignment, aligning your thoughts with gratitude, your actions with purpose, and your energy with belief. Once you begin to think this way, everything else follows. Your conversations shift, your emotions stabilize, your confidence grows, and slowly but powerfully, life begins to mirror your new vibration, because abundance isn't something you chase, it's something you become. You are not here to survive. You are here to create, expand, and express the infinite potential of your own mind. That is the beginning of wealth consciousness. That is the first step toward true financial and personal freedom. Take this moment, right now, and decide that you are done thinking small. You are done accepting limitation as truth. You are done letting fear dictate what's possible for you. Abundance isn't a dream. It's a decision. And when you make it, truly make it, life opens in ways you never imagined. This is your awakening. The beginning of a new way of thinking, a new way of living, a new way of being. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper, beyond mindset and into energy itself. Because once you understand that money isn't just paper, but vibration, once you see that your thoughts carry a frequency, you'll begin to master the hidden force that shapes every fortune. The journey has only just begun. Welcome to Abundance. Chapter 2. Wealth is Energy. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. What do you see? Your reflection, of course, but more than that, what you see is a projection of something invisible, your energy. You cannot touch it, yet it defines how the world responds to you. It colors your words, your choices, your confidence, your relationships, and yes, even your wealth. Because wealth isn't just made of numbers and currency, wealth is energy. It flows where it's welcomed. It expands where it's respected, and it disappears where it's feared, resisted, or misunderstood. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract opportunities without trying? Doors open for them, resources appear, people trust them, support them, invest in them. It almost feels unfair, doesn't it? But it isn't luck, it's alignment. Those people operate from an energetic frequency of abundance, a vibration that says, I am open, I am ready, I am capable, and the universe, ever responsive, mirrors that signal. Here's what most people don't realize. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold carries a frequency. It's like broadcasting a signal into the world, a silent message that says, this is who I am. This is what I expect. This is what I attract. If your signal is filled with fear, scarcity, or self-doubt, you attract experiences that validate those emotions. If your signal is rooted in gratitude, confidence, and certainty, you attract experiences that expand those feelings. Money, like any form of energy, moves toward clarity and confidence. It avoids confusion, chaos, and contradiction. That's why some people work hard their whole lives, but never seem to get ahead, because they are sending mixed signals. They say they want wealth, but deep down they fear it. They want abundance, but secretly believe they don't deserve it. They want success, but their energy is still tied to struggle. You cannot receive what your energy is rejecting. Wealth flows where there is harmony, where your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in alignment. When your inner world says yes, the outer world responds with here. Let me share a simple truth. Energy doesn't lie. You can pretend to be confident, you can talk about success, you can even dress the part, but if your inner energy is anchored in fear, life will reflect that fear right back to you. You've probably experienced this before. Ever noticed that when you're desperate for something, it seems to move further away? The job doesn't call back, the client cancels, the opportunity slips through your fingers. That's not coincidence, it's energy. Desperation is repelling, gratitude is magnetic. When you're grateful, you signal to the universe that you already have enough, and that makes you a match for more. But when you're desperate, you send a message of lack, and lack responds in kind. Wealthy thinkers understand this deeply. They know that abundance is not something you chase, it's something you align with. They manage their energy before they manage their business. They protect their mindset more fiercely than their money, because they know everything starts within. Your external circumstances are nothing but the physical expression of your internal state. If you're surrounded by struggle, start by checking your energy. What are you broadcasting? What are you emotionally practicing every day? Here's a powerful exercise. Every morning before you step into your day, ask yourself, what frequency am I carrying right now? Am I thinking from abundance or from lack? Am I acting from love or from fear? Am I responding with confidence or with hesitation? Because your vibration sets the tone for everything that follows. When you walk into a room with certainty, people feel it. When you speak from genuine belief, people trust it. When you move with calm assurance, money finds its way to you, because confidence is the highest currency there is. Energy doesn't lie, and it doesn't wait. It mirrors you instantly. This is why mindset alone is not enough. You can repeat affirmations all day, but if your energy doesn't match your words, they fall flat. You can make plans and set goals, but if your emotional frequency is one of fear, those goals remain on paper. Energy must come first. It's the soil in which all wealth grows. Think about nature. Rivers don't strain to flow. They don't chase their destination. They move effortlessly, following the path of least resistance. That's what energy does when it's free. It flows. And that's how wealth works too. When you release resistance, the fear, the guilt, the doubt, you make room for energy to move toward you naturally. When you stop chasing and start aligning, wealth stops running and starts arriving. Remember, money doesn't belong to the hard workers. It belongs to the aligned thinkers. It belongs to those who see wealth not as a finish line but as a flow. So how do you begin to align? Start with awareness. Notice how you feel when you think about money. Do you tense up? Do you feel unworthy, anxious, undeserving? If so, that's not a flaw. It's feedback. It's your energy showing you where it's blocked. Once you see it, you can shift it. Replace guilt with gratitude. Replace fear with curiosity. Replace anxiety with intention. Say to yourself, money is energy. I allow it to flow to me and through me. Feel those words. Believe them. Because they're not just affirmations, they're recalibrations. When your energy becomes peaceful, money starts to trust you. When your vibration becomes consistent, opportunities start to find you. When you radiate the energy of enoughness, wealth multiplies effortlessly. You don't need to chase it. You just need to become the space where it feels safe to stay. You see, energy seeks stability. It seeks openness, seeks clarity. The more grounded you are in your sense of purpose, gratitude and confidence, the easier it becomes for wealth to align with you. That's why some of the richest people in the world often speak about flow, intuition and vision, because they know wealth doesn't begin with effort, it begins with energy. It begins with the silent, invisible alignment between what you think, what you feel, and what you do. So if you truly want to think like a millionaire, stop trying to force results. Start tuning your energy to the frequency of abundance. Let gratitude guide your thoughts. Let faith anchor your actions. Let peace replace panic. When you do, you'll notice something extraordinary. The world begins to mirror your new vibration. You start meeting the right people. Ideas come easier. Timing starts to feel perfect. You step into a rhythm, the rhythm of flow. And that's when wealth stops being something external and starts becoming something natural. In the next chapter, we'll explore how beliefs shape that flow, how your inner story about money either amplifies your energy or blocks it completely. Because energy is the current, but belief is the direction. And once those two align, the hidden key to wealth begins to unlock. Welcome to the next step of your transformation. Chapter 3. The Millionaire Belief System. There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize something powerful, that the greatest limits they face are not around them, but within them. For some, this moment arrives after years of struggle. For others, it comes quietly, in a moment of reflection, when they finally see that every decision, every opportunity, every outcome has been filtered through the same invisible gatekeeper, belief. Belief is the silent architect of your reality. It shapes the walls of your world, defines what's possible, and dictates what you think you deserve. It is the difference between dreaming of wealth and living it. You see, every millionaire you've ever heard of, every innovator, investor, or creator began not with money, but with belief. A belief that they could create something valuable. A belief that their effort mattered. A belief that abundance was not a fantasy, but a right that could be earned through thought, action, and faith. Most people never reach that mindset, not because they lack intelligence or talent or even opportunity, but because their belief system is working against them. They believe money is scarce. They believe wealth is for others. They believe that no matter what they do, they'll always fall short. And the cruel truth, they're right, but only because their beliefs make it so. The mind is an obedient servant. It doesn't ask whether your thoughts are true, it simply turns them into reality. When you say, "I'm not good with money," your subconscious mind agrees. When you think, "I'll never be rich," it quietly sets out to prove you right. Because your mind's job is not to challenge your beliefs, it's to fulfill them. That's why the wealthiest people in the world spend so much time mastering their thoughts. They understand that success is not just the result of work, it's the reflection of what you believe about what you're worth. Let's pause for a moment and ask a deeper question. What do you truly believe about money? Not what you say you believe, but what you feel when you think about it. Does the thought of wealth make you excited or uncomfortable? Do you feel inspired or guilty? Do you secretly believe that having more somehow means taking from others? These hidden beliefs run your financial life, like invisible programs running in the background. They determine what you earn, what you keep, and even what you think you deserve to have. And here's the good news: beliefs are not permanent. They can be rewritten. You are not bound by the thoughts you inherited from your parents, your culture, or your past experiences. You can choose new beliefs, beliefs that expand your potential instead of limit it. Beliefs that make wealth feel natural, not foreign. Because every time you change a belief, you change the trajectory of your life. Here's an example. Imagine two people, both talented, both hardworking. One believes money is a reward for effort. The other believes money is a reward for value. The first works harder and harder, trying to earn their worth through exhaustion. The second focuses on creating something that truly helps others and watches money flow effortlessly in return. Same world, same skills, different belief systems. That's how powerful belief is. It can make struggle feel noble or success feel natural. When you think like a millionaire, you start by believing that abundance is not random. It's a reflection of mindset. You stop asking why they and start asking, what do they believe that I don't? Because wealth begins with one brave decision: to stop accepting limitation as truth. So how do you begin to rewire your beliefs about money? It starts with awareness. Notice your inner dialogue. Catch the small, quiet thoughts that arise when you see someone living in abundance. Do you admire them or resent them? Do you feel inspired or intimidated? Your emotional response reveals your belief pattern. Then question it. Ask yourself, who taught me this? Is it actually true? Does it serve me or hold me back? Most of the beliefs you hold about wealth aren't even yours. They're hand-me-downs from generations of fear, scarcity, and misunderstanding. But once you see them, you can free yourself from them. You can choose a new narrative. You can believe that money is good, that wealth allows you to give, to grow, to create impact. That abundance is not about greed, it's about expansion. And as your beliefs expand, so does your reality. Here's a truth that might surprise you. Millionaires don't believe they're special. They believe they're capable. They trust in their ability to learn, to adapt, to create value in any situation. They see challenges, not as walls, but as training grounds for growth. That's what makes them unstoppable. Not luck, not privilege, belief. Your mind is constantly scanning the world, looking for evidence to support what it already believes. So if you believe you're limited, your brain will show you proof: failed attempts, missed chances, small setbacks. But if you believe you're destined to grow, your brain will look for new paths, new people, new ideas that align with that truth. Belief shapes perception. Perception shapes action, and action shapes destiny. That's why changing your belief system isn't just mental, it's spiritual. It's about reclaiming your power as the creator of your own reality. It's about saying, I decide what's possible for me now. No one can hand you that belief. You must choose it. You must practice it. You must embody it. And once you do, the world begins to rearrange around that new identity. Opportunities find you, people respond differently to you. And money, which once felt elusive, begins to flow more naturally. Because wealth is not attracted to wishful thinking, it's attracted to unwavering belief. When your beliefs and your energy align, life starts to feel effortless. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer beg, you command. You no longer hope, you know. Belief turns desire into certainty, and certainty is magnetic. So let this be your reminder: the wealth you desire will never exceed the wealth you believe you deserve. To grow your income, you must first grow your identity. To expand your finances, you must first expand your faith in yourself. You are not limited by the world, only by your willingness to believe that you can shape it. Take a deep breath and let that truth settle in. You have the power to rebuild your belief system, brick by brick, thought by thought. You can release the old and rewrite the new. Because when your beliefs evolve, your entire reality follows. In the next chapter, we'll explore how that belief transforms into vision, how to take the invisible conviction within you and project it into the tangible world around you. Because belief is the seed, but vision is the blueprint. And once you learn to see your future before it exists, wealth no longer remains a dream, it becomes your direction. This is where your new reality begins. Chapter 4. The Power of Vision. Seeing before you arrive. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You're standing on the edge of a vast, open field. The air is still, the sky endless, and in the distance there's a faint outline of something magnificent, a home, a dream, a life that belongs to you. You can almost see it, almost touch it, but not quite. It's blurry, unfinished, waiting for you to believe in it enough to bring it into focus. That's what vision is. It's the ability to see what doesn't yet exist, and hold that image so clearly in your mind that the world begins to rearrange itself to match it. Every great achievement, every invention, every movement that ever changed humanity began the same way, as a vision in someone's mind. Someone dared to see before others could. Someone believed in the invisible long enough for it to become visible. Vision is not daydreaming, it's not idle wishing, it's the language of creation, the mind's way of speaking to the future. And here's the truth most people never realize: your life right now is the reflection of a past vision. Every result, every circumstance, every experience began as a mental picture you once held. Consciously or unconsciously, you are already living the proof that your vision works. The only question is, are you the one directing it, or have you let the world do it for you? Because when you don't create your own vision, you end up living someone else's. Society, family, friends, they all have an image of who you should be. But true power comes when you choose to see for yourself. A millionaire mindset isn't built on luck or chance, it's built on clarity. Clarity of what you want, who you want to become, and how you want to live. That clarity acts like a compass. It keeps you centered even when the path is uncertain. Think about it. How can you arrive somewhere you've never seen? You can't. That's why so many people drift through life feeling lost, because they've never defined where there actually is. Vision gives your energy direction. It turns scattered effort into focused power. It transforms wishing into intention. And the most powerful visions are not just about things, they're about becoming. The car, the home, the lifestyle, they're symbols, not the substance. The real goal is who you grow into while creating them. Let me tell you something few people admit. Success without vision feels empty. You can reach the top of a mountain and realize it wasn't the one you wanted to climb. But when your vision is clear, deeply personal and aligned with your purpose, every step feels meaningful, even the hard ones. So how do you build a vision that moves you? Not one that fades after a few weeks, but one that burns so bright it pulls you forward every single day. It starts with honesty. You must be brutally honest about what you truly want, not what you think you should want. Forget the expectations, forget the comparisons, forget the noise. Ask yourself, if I could design my life exactly the way I desire, what would it look like? And then let yourself see it. See the colors, the sounds, the emotions. See yourself living it, walking in it, owning it. Feel the sense of peace, power, and freedom that comes with it. Because here's the secret: your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. The moment you hold a vision vividly enough, your mind begins to act as if it's already true. Your energy shifts, your habits align, your actions start to support the picture you've painted. That's why the greatest creators treat their vision like a sacred ritual. They revisit it daily, they refine it, expand it, nurture it, until it feels inevitable. And when others call it impossible, they smile quietly, because they've already seen it in their mind 1,000 times. But vision alone is not enough. It must be backed by faith, a deep, unwavering belief that what you see is already yours in potential form. Faith is what bridges the gap between the unseen and the seen. It's what keeps you moving when logic says stop, when doubt whispers, when fear tries to pull you back. You see, vision without belief is fantasy, but vision with belief becomes destiny. So let's make this practical. Begin by creating what I call your mental movie. Picture your ideal life as if you're the main character. Where do you live? What do your mornings look like? Who do you spend time with? What kind of work excites you? What impact are you making? Don't just think it, feel it. Feel the joy of waking up fulfilled. Feel the pride of contributing something meaningful. Feel the gratitude of living in abundance, surrounded by peace. Then replay that movie every day. Write it down, speak it aloud, because repetition makes it real. The more you engage with your vision, the more your subconscious begins to accept it as truth. Soon, the gap between who you are and who you envision starts to close, not by force, but by flow. Because when your vision becomes clear, your choices become easy. You stop hesitating, you stop settling, you start aligning. And here's the beauty of it all: as your vision grows, so do you. You stop thinking in terms of survival and start thinking in terms of creation. You stop asking, what can I get? And start asking, what can I build? That's when the universe begins to respond. That's when opportunities appear, connections form, and everything starts to click into place. You are not here to live by default. You are here to design deliberately. You are the artist, the architect, the dreamer and the builder, all in one. And when you finally dare to see your future clearly, you activate one of the most powerful forces in existence: intention. Intention gives meaning to your motion. It gives direction to your energy. It gives purpose to your days. So let your vision be bold. Let it scare you a little. That's how you know it's big enough. Because a vision that doesn't stretch you can't transform you. And remember, the clearer you see it, the faster you'll live it. Every great success story begins with a vision, and yours is already waiting. It's there behind the noise, beneath the doubt calling you forward. All you have to do is see it, and then move toward it with unwavering faith. Because life doesn't give you what you wish for, it gives you what you're willing to see, believe, and act upon. In the next chapter, we'll take this vision and translate it into action, the kind of action that magnetizes opportunities and turns your mental movie into your living reality. Because belief builds the foundation, vision draws the map, but action, that's how you arrive. And your journey, the one you've already begun, is only just getting started. Chapter 5: The Law of Action. Moving from vision to reality. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this: a seed buried deep within the soil. It holds infinite potential, yet without movement, without action, it remains only a seed. It will never break open, never rise toward the light, never become the tree it was destined to be. That's how most dreams die. Not because they lack power, but because they never meet action. You can dream endlessly. You can visualize every detail. You can imagine your future with crystal clarity. But until you act, your vision remains trapped in the unseen world, a pisser of potential. Action is the bridge between imagination and manifestation. It's the sacred path where ideas become reality. And this is where most people get stuck. Not because they don't have dreams, but because they're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect pun, the perfect confidence. But perfection is a mirage. It disappears every time you get close. Millionaire minds understand this, that success doesn't come to those who wait, it comes to those who move. You see, the wealthy don't act only when they feel ready. They act until they become ready. They don't wait for certainty. They create it through experience. They don't think their way into clarity. They move their way into it. Because action is intelligence. It teaches, it reveals, it transforms. Think about your own life for a moment. How many ideas have you had that you never acted on? How many some days have quietly faded into nevers? Every step you don't take strengthens your hesitation, but every small step forward builds momentum, and momentum is power. The most successful people don't necessarily take giant leaps. They take consistent steps, day after day, while others overthink, overplan, and overanalyze. It's not brilliance that separates the wealthy from the average. It's movement. Action is magnetic. When you move, life moves with you. Doors open, people appear, resources align. The universe responds to energy in motion. But here's the truth many overlook. Action doesn't always feel glamorous. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's repetitive. Sometimes it feels like you're moving with no results. And that's where most give up, because they confuse motion with momentum. They expect instant rewards, and when they don't see them, they stop. But growth works like the roots of that seed, invisible before it's undeniable. You may not see progress right away, but beneath the surface, something powerful is happening. You're building resilience, you're developing habits. You're aligning your energy with your purpose. Every act of effort is a statement to the universe, I'm serious about this, and the universe listens. Let me share a truth you must never forget. You don't have to know every step before you start. You just need to know your direction. Because clarity doesn't precede action, it comes from action. Imagine driving through the fog. You can only see a few meters ahead, but as you move, the road reveals itself. That's how success works. The road becomes visible only when you start moving. So many people stand still, staring into the fog, hoping the entire road will appear first. But it never does. The road rewards movement, and sometimes taking one imperfect step forward is far more powerful than standing still, waiting for the perfect one. Now here's the subtle secret behind the millionaire mindset. They act decisively and repeatedly. They make choices, learn from them, adjust, and keep going. They know that inaction costs more than mistakes ever will. You can recover from failure, you can't recover from never trying. The biggest lie that keeps people stuck is the belief that fear must disappear before they act. But fear doesn't fade, it transforms through motion. Fear feeds on stillness. It grows stronger the longer you wait. But once you take action, fear loses its grip. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move anyway. So the real question becomes, what small, meaningful step can you take today? Not next month, not next year, today. Maybe it's making a call, writing an email, learning a new skill, creating a plan, or setting a boundary. Whatever it is, act on it. Because one action can change your entire trajectory. The mind loves comfort, but wealth is built in motion. Discomfort is the evidence of growth. Every time you stretch beyond what's easy, you expand your capacity to receive more. Millionaires don't avoid discomfort, they harness it. They understand that every moment of resistance is an invitation to grow stronger. Think of it this way, the gym of life doesn't build muscle through ease, it builds through resistance. Every challenge you face, every doubt you overcome, every uncomfortable decision you make, that's how you build the muscle of success. And once you've acted, you must follow through. Consistency turns effort into momentum, and momentum turns momentum into mastery. When you show up every day, even when it's hard, even when it's uncertain, you tell life that you're ready, and life responds to readiness with reward. Action sharpens your belief, action expands your vision, action transforms your identity. You stop saying, I want to become, and start realizing, I already am. Because every time you act, you step closer to alignment with your future self, the one who already owns the life you're building. And here's the part most never understand. The action you take doesn't just change your outer world, it rewires your inner world. You begin to think differently. You begin to carry yourself with confidence. You begin to attract opportunities that match your energy. It's not luck, it's alignment through movement. So if there's one rule to remember from this chapter, it's this. Never let a day pass without doing something that moves you closer to your vision, even if it's small, even if it's imperfect. Because every step you take declares that you believe your dream is possible. And belief, followed by action, creates miracles. You don't need to rush, but you do need to begin. The road to wealth isn't paved by wishing. It's built by walking, and every step, every effort, every act of faith brings you closer to your destiny. So move boldly, imperfectly, consistently. Because the moment you act, you separate yourself from the majority. And when you move with intention, you invite success to meet you halfway. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into the art of discipline, the quiet force that sustains action when motivation fades. Because it's not just about starting, it's about continuing. And discipline is what turns your movement into mastery and your vision into reality. Chapter 6. The Power of Letting Go. There's a moment in every person's life when holding on feels like the only way to survive. You cling to what once was, the memory, the dream, the person, the version of yourself you used to be. Because letting go feels like loss. But what if holding on is the very thing keeping you stuck? What if the real strength isn't in grasping tighter, but in the quiet courage to release? Imagine standing at the edge of a river, holding a heavy stone. The current is strong, urging you forward. But your hand refuses to open. You're afraid that if you let go, you'll lose something important: control, security, identity. And yet, the longer you hold it, the heavier it becomes. Your arm aches, your spirit weakens, and the current begins to pull you under. Only when you finally release the stone do you realize you were never meant to sink. You were meant to flow. Letting go is not about giving up. It's not about forgetting or pretending something never mattered. It's about accepting that some chapters must end for new ones to begin. It's about trusting that life knows what it's doing, even when you don't. We live in a world that glorifies control. We're taught to plan, to predict, to perfect. But the truth is, control is often an illusion. The more we try to force outcomes, the more resistance we create. The universe, or life itself, responds not to force, but to flow. Think about a time in your life when you tried desperately to make something work. A relationship, a job, a dream. But no matter how hard you tried, it kept slipping away. You exhausted yourself trying to save it, to fix it, to make it fit. But deep down, you knew it was over. You just couldn't accept it yet. That's where suffering lives, in the space between what is and what we wish it to be. Letting go is the bridge that carries us from pain to peace. It doesn't happen all at once. Sometimes it begins as a whisper in your heart that says, "It's time." Sometimes it takes breaking apart to find the courage to release. And sometimes it takes standing still long enough to realize that holding on isn't strength, it's fear. When you let go, something miraculous happens. You create space for healing, for growth, for something better to enter. Nature understands this perfectly. Trees shed their leaves not because they've failed, but because it's necessary for new life to grow. The same is true for you. The art of letting go is also the art of trusting yourself, trusting that you can rebuild, that you can rise again, that you don't need to carry what no longer belongs to you. But here's the deeper truth: letting go doesn't always mean walking away. Sometimes it means releasing the expectation of how things should be. You can stay in the same place, with the same people, doing the same work, but when you release the need to control the outcome, you shift your entire energy. You stop resisting life and start aligning with it. There is a profound peace in surrender. Not the kind that comes from weakness, but the kind that comes from wisdom. It's the peace of realizing that you don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to know all the answers right now. You only need to breathe, trust, and take the next honest step forward. Sometimes the things you let go of are not external at all. Sometimes they're internal. Guilt, resentment, anger, shame. These emotions cling like shadows, whispering lies about who you are and what you deserve. But you are not your pain. You are not your past. You are the awareness behind it, the light that observes it. And when you recognize that truth, you can release what has kept you prisoner for far too long. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful forms of letting go, not for others, for yourself. Holding on to bitterness is like carrying fire in your hands. It burns only you. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means you refuse to let it define you anymore. It takes immense courage to let go of the stories you've told yourself, the ones that say you're not enough, that you've failed, that it's too late. But the moment you stop believing those stories, you open a door to a new beginning. Letting go is not a single event, it's a daily practice. Every morning, you have the chance to release what doesn't serve you, to forgive, to choose peace over control, to allow life to unfold with more grace and less resistance. And here's the paradox: the moment you stop clinging, life begins to give. The things meant for you will find their way, not because you chase them, but because you've made space for them. So ask yourself, what am I still holding on to that's holding me back? Whose approval am I still chasing? What fear am I feeding by refusing to release what's already over? There's incredible freedom waiting for you on the other side of surrender, but you'll never feel it if you keep gripping what's gone. When you let go, you don't lose, you liberate, you reclaim your power, you return to the present moment, you make peace with uncertainty and trust that the next chapter is already written in your favor. You just haven't turned the page yet. You are not defined by what you've lost, but by what you've learned. You are not the same person who began this journey. You are lighter now, wiser, stronger, ready. Letting go is not the end, it's the beginning of freedom. It's the sacred act of making room for something greater to enter your life. Because the truth is, when you release what weighs you down, you rise higher than you ever thought possible. And in that rise, you discover something extraordinary. You were never meant to hold on forever. You were meant to become, to grow, to expand, to evolve. And as you step into the next chapter, remember this: sometimes life removes what you think you need to make space for what you truly deserve. The art of letting go is not losing yourself, it's finding the version of you that was never afraid to begin again. And that is where the next chapter of your journey begins. Chapter 7: The Discipline of Consistency. There's a quiet power that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's consistency. The invisible thread that turns intention into transformation. Picture this: a single drop of water falling on a stone. One drop means nothing, but day after day, year after year, the water carves its mark, not through strength, through persistence. That's the essence of consistency. Small actions, repeated faithfully, that slowly and silently reshape your life. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. We chase instant results, crave quick rewards, and give up when things don't move fast enough. But transformation doesn't happen in the rush, it happens in the rhythm. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up, especially on the days you don't feel like it. It's the act of honoring your word to yourself when no one is watching. Because real growth doesn't happen in moments of motivation. It happens in moments of discipline. Think of a sunrise. You don't see it appear all at once. It emerges slowly, quietly, almost unnoticed, until suddenly the whole world is bathed in light. That's what happens when you stay consistent with your efforts. Change may begin in the dark, but if you keep going, the light always comes. The truth is, most breakthroughs are born from boredom, not excitement, not passion, boredom. Doing the same small, unglamorous thing over and over again until it finally compounds into something extraordinary. The writer who sits down every morning, even when the words don't flow. The athlete who trains before dawn, long before the cheers arrive. The entrepreneur who keeps working, even when no one believes in the vision yet. Consistency is the silent bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Every time you show up, even when it's hard, you're strengthening that bridge. One step, one action, one choice at a time. But here's the part most people miss. Consistency is not about intensity. It's about sustainability. It's not about doing everything today. It's about doing something every day. The goal isn't to do more, it's to never stop doing what matters. A single workout won't change your body. One kind word won't rebuild your confidence. One page won't make you an author. But repeat those small efforts, and you'll create a momentum that becomes unstoppable. The greatest transformations are often invisible at first. You won't notice your strength growing after one workout, your peace deepening after one meditation, or your confidence returning after one day of self-discipline. But if you stay with it, one day you'll look back and realize you've become the kind of person who doesn't quit, and that realization changes everything. You see, consistency isn't just a habit, it's a form of self-respect. It's saying, I trust myself enough to keep my promises. Every time you follow through, you're not just building results, you're building integrity. And integrity creates power. So ask yourself, what does consistency look like for you? Not in grand gestures, but in the small things. Maybe it's waking up 15 minutes earlier. Maybe it's choosing gratitude before complaint. Maybe it's taking one small step toward your goal every single day. Because the truth is, the difference between success and stagnation isn't found in rare moments of inspiration. It's found in daily moments of decision. Consistency is how you earn momentum, and momentum is how you earn freedom. There will be days when you feel tired, days when you doubt if any of it matters, days when you question if your small efforts are making any difference at all. And on those days, remember this, the seed does not grow the moment it's planted. It grows in silence, in darkness, beneath the surface, until the right season comes. You may not see results yet, but something powerful is taking root inside you. Every act of discipline is planting the future you're praying for. Every act of consistency is proof that you're already becoming the person you've always wanted to be. Don't underestimate the power of showing up, because every time you do, you're proving that your dreams matter more than your excuses, that your growth matters more than your comfort, and that your purpose matters more than your fears. Life rewards the steady, not the sporadic. It honors the ones who keep going long after the excitement fades. Because that's where true greatness lives, in the quiet repetition of the right choices. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be persistent. You don't need to move fast, you just need to move forward. So stay with it, build the habits that build your life. Keep watering the seeds you've planted, even when you can't see them yet. Because one day, those small, consistent efforts will bloom into something you can't even imagine right now. And when that day comes, you'll realize something beautiful. It wasn't one big decision that changed your life. It was 1,000 tiny ones, made with faith, patience, and discipline. Consistency isn't about doing everything right. It's about refusing to give up when things go wrong. It's the quiet promise you make to your future self that no matter what happens, you'll keep showing up. Because showing up is where the magic begins. So as you move forward, Remember this: success doesn't belong to the most talented, the most gifted, or the most lucky. It belongs to the one who refuses to quit. The one who wakes up every day and decides, I will try again. That's the discipline of consistency, the art of becoming unstoppable, one small step at a time. And in the next chapter, we'll go even deeper into the hidden truth about persistence, patience, and how to keep believing when the results still seem far away. Because consistency begins the journey. But persistence, that's what carries you across the finish line. Chapter 8. The Power of Persistence. There comes a point in every journey when the excitement fades. The initial spark that once fueled your progress begins to dim. The goal that once seemed so close suddenly feels miles away. That's the moment that separates those who succeed from those who stop. That's the moment where persistence is born. Persistence isn't glamorous. It's not loud or flashy. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks or praise. It's quiet, steady, and often invisible to the world. It's the hand that keeps pushing when everything inside you says, enough. Imagine climbing a mountain. At the base, you're full of energy. The air feels fresh, the view ahead exciting. But as you climb higher, the path gets steeper. The air gets thinner, doubt begins to whisper. Maybe this is too hard. That's when persistence steps in. Not to silence the doubt, but to walk beside it. To say, we're going anyway. Persistence is not about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. Every failure, every setback, every disappointment becomes part of your endurance, proof that you're still in the fight. You see, persistence isn't built in moments of comfort. It's forged in the fire of resistance. Most people give up, not because they can't go on, but because they can't see how close they already are. Success doesn't always announce its arrival. Sometimes it hides behind one more try, one more step, one more day of believing, when nothing seems to be working. Think about a miner searching for gold. He digs and digs, striking stone after stone. Days turn into weeks, and still he finds nothing. Finally exhausted, he walks away, not knowing that just 3 feet beneath where he stopped was the gold vein he'd been chasing. That's how most people live their dreams. Almost. They almost break through, almost finish, almost believe long enough. But persistence asks for something deeper. It asks for commitment without guarantees. It asks you to keep digging, even when the world tells you there's nothing left to find. Because persistence is not about the outcome, it's about the character you build along the way. It transforms you from someone who tries into someone who becomes. The truth is, every great success story is a story of persistence. Every person who achieved something extraordinary once stood at the edge of giving up. The difference is, they didn't. When the world said no, they whispered yes. When the doors closed, they found a window. When life knocked them down, they got up, dusted themselves off, and kept moving forward. Persistence is not blind optimism. It's grounded faith. The kind that says, I may not see it yet, but I know it's coming. It's believing that every step, even the ones that feel pointless, are leading you somewhere meaningful. Maybe right now, you're in that season. The season where effort feels invisible, where progress is slow, where nothing seems to be changing. If that's where you are, listen closely. You are not failing. You are forming. You are being shaped into someone stronger than you've ever been. Growth rarely feels like growth while it's happening. It feels like struggle, exhaustion, uncertainty. But those are the signs that you're alive in the process, that something within you is expanding. Persistence is choosing to trust that feeling, to understand that difficulty doesn't mean defeat. It means you're in motion. It means you care enough to keep going. Even nature understands this truth. A seed doesn't break through the soil in a single day. It pushes and pushes through darkness, unseen, unheard, until one morning it bursts into the light. But the miracle didn't happen that day. It happened every day before that, when it refused to stop growing underground. That's what persistence is, growing in silence until your season arrives. And here's the beauty of it. The longer you persist, the stronger your roots become. You develop resilience, patience, humility, qualities that success alone could never teach you, because persistence teaches you who you are. It shows you the part of yourself that refuses to surrender, the part that fights through fear, doubt, and fatigue, the part that believes, even when belief feels impossible. If you've ever wondered why life tests you so often, it's not to break you, it's to prove you, to show you that you can endure, adapt, and rise again. Every challenge you've faced was training for the person you're becoming. Every setback was preparation for your next breakthrough. Persistence is the heartbeat of progress. It's the rhythm of every dream realized. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to keep moving forward, even slowly, even uncertainly, because movement, no matter how small, is still victory. You won't always feel motivated. You won't always feel strong. But persistence doesn't depend on how you feel. It depends on what you decide. Decide to keep going. Decide to try again. Decide that quitting isn't an option, because somewhere in the future, your persistence is already paying off. Somewhere ahead, there's a version of you standing on the other side of this struggle, proud, grateful, and stronger than you ever imagined. And when that moment comes, you'll look back and realize that it wasn't luck or timing or opportunity that changed your life. It was your persistence, your decision to keep showing up, to keep believing, to keep moving, even when the finish line was nowhere in sight. That's the power of persistence. It doesn't promise ease. It promises evolution. So, as you move forward, hold this truth close. You are allowed to rest, but you are not allowed to quit. You are allowed to stumble, but you are not allowed to stop. Every step you take is rewriting your story, reshaping your destiny, and reinforcing your strength. Keep going, not because it's easy, but because you're capable, not because it's fast, but because it's worth it. The world belongs to the ones who refuse to give up. And as we move into the next chapter, we'll uncover the quiet force that fuels your persistence, patience, because persistence is the act of continuing, but patience is the art of trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Chapter 9, The Art of Patience. Patience is a quiet power. It is not loud or commanding. It does not demand attention or instant results. And yet, without it, even the greatest ambition falters. Imagine planting a seed and digging it up every day to see if it has grown. You would destroy its potential before it even had a chance to flourish. That is life without patience. Patience is the soil in which your dreams take root. It is the calm force that allows persistence to flourish, the silent companion that turns struggle into wisdom. Without patience, effort is wasted, and persistence becomes frustration. With patience, every small step you take compounds into transformation. Think of a sculptor chiseling a masterpiece. Each strike seems small, insignificant, but over time, every tap, every careful movement reveals a form that was hidden within the stone all along. Life works in the same way. Success, wealth, freedom, they are not achieved overnight. They are carved slowly, steadily, with care and intention. We live in an age of immediacy. We want results today, recognition now, validation instantly. But the universe does not respond to impatience. Life rewards timing, preparation, and depth. What is meant for you will arrive, but only when you are ready to receive it. Patience teaches you to wait without losing faith, to move forward without rushing, to trust without demanding. The art of patience is not passive. It is not sitting idle, doing nothing while the world passes by. True patience is active and engaged. It is the discipline of doing the work, day after day, while allowing outcomes to unfold naturally. It is understanding that effort and surrender are partners, not enemies. Consider a river cutting through rock. It does not force its way. It flows steadily, persistently, shaping the landscape over centuries. The results are dramatic, lasting, undeniable, yet the river never hurries. It trusts the process. That is the essence of patience. Patience also transforms your relationship with fear and uncertainty. When you are impatient, fear grows. The unknown becomes threatening. When you are patient, you embrace uncertainty as part of the journey. You learn that life's timing is precise, even when it feels delayed. You understand that waiting is not a punishment, it is preparation. Most people underestimate the value of time spent growing unseen. They measure progress only by visible results. But some of the most critical work occurs beneath the surface. Habits forming, resilience building, knowledge accumulating, character being refined. Patience is the recognition that these invisible processes are essential. Patience teaches empathy too. When you allow yourself to wait without frustration, you develop understanding for others who are also finding their way. You recognize that everyone moves at their own pace, and that true guidance comes from support, not impatience. Let me be clear. Patience is not about passivity. It is not about giving up or resigning yourself to fate. It is about timing your actions with wisdom, about learning to distinguish between what requires effort and what requires trust. It is the calm within the storm, the anchor in turbulent seas. Patience also strengthens your perspective. It allows you to see setbacks not as failures, but as necessary steps, as lessons and pivots that guide you towards something greater. It is the lens that turns frustration into opportunity, disappointment into strategy, and waiting into preparation. Every person who has achieved extraordinary success understands this truth. They did not rush. They waited, worked, learned and grew. They moved with intention, and when the moment was right, they acted decisively. Their patience did not make them passive. It made them precise, resilient, and unstoppable. So how do you cultivate patience? First, accept that life's timing is not your own. You cannot force seasons to change. You can, however, commit to showing up consistently, to learning, to improving, and to trusting that every effort matters. Second, focus on the present. Patience is impossible without presence. Stop chasing the future so relentlessly that you miss the richness of today. Finally, remember that waiting is active growth. Every day you persist, every skill you refine, every relationship you nurture, brings you closer to the life you envision. Patience allows you to embrace the mystery of life. It teaches you to hold your vision without needing immediate confirmation. It equips you to endure challenges with grace, to endure delays without despair, and to endure uncertainty without fear. When you practice patience, life opens doors at the right time, rather than forcing them before you are ready. Opportunities arrive more aligned, results last longer, and your growth is deeper. And here's the paradox: the more patient you are, the more you accelerate your progress. By resisting the urge to force outcomes, by trusting the process, you align yourself with the natural flow of life. Patience does not slow you down. It propels you forward in the right direction, at the right pace. Ask yourself, are you willing to wait without giving up? Are you willing to trust without controlling? Are you willing to grow beneath the surface, even when nothing seems to be happening? That willingness is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Patience is not an obstacle, it is an ally. It is the quiet force that, combined with persistence, discipline, and action, creates the life you desire. It is the secret that the impatient never learn, and the foundation upon which all lasting success is built. And as you carry this truth forward, remember, the universe is not late, it is always precise. What is yours will come at the perfect time, in the perfect way, shaped by your persistence, honed by your patience, and aligned with your purpose. In the next chapter, we will bring all of these principles together: focus, discipline, persistence, patience, and reveal how they create the hidden key to true wealth. Because understanding the rhythm of timing is not just wisdom, it is power. Chapter 10: The Hidden Key to Wealth. We arrive at the moment you've been moving toward all along, the point where insight meets action, where understanding becomes transformation. Close your eyes, if you will, and imagine standing at the threshold of a great door. Behind it is not just money, not just comfort, but the freedom, security, and fulfillment you've been seeking. And yet, this door does not open with force, nor with wishful thinking. It opens with mastery, the mastery of your mind, your habits, and your perspective. Wealth is often portrayed as something external: a number in a bank account, a luxury car, a big house. But here is the truth: those things are merely byproducts. The true wealth begins inside, in the way you think, the decisions you make, and the patterns you allow to govern your life. The hidden key is not in chasing money, it is in cultivating the mindset that naturally attracts it. Think about it this way: a magnet does not chase iron, it simply attracts it by virtue of its nature. So too, a person who thinks like a millionaire does not chase wealth, they attract it. Their thoughts, choices, and habits align with opportunity, value creation, and persistence. They create environments in which wealth naturally grows. This mindset begins with clarity. You must know what you want, not vaguely, not whimsically, but with precision and purpose. Wealth without direction is like a ship without a rudder, drifting endlessly on the waves of chance. Define your vision. See it vividly. Feel it. Taste it. Let it become a part of your internal landscape, so that every decision you make aligns with it. Next comes discipline. The millionaire mind understands that desire alone is powerless without consistent action. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. Freedom from chaos, from wasted time, from the distractions that pull you away from your goal. Discipline allows you to structure your days in ways that compound into extraordinary results. It is in these daily choices, how you invest your energy, time, and focus, that wealth is quietly built. But there is more. Beyond clarity and discipline lies the power of abundance thinking. Many people operate from a mindset of scarcity. There is never enough. Opportunities are limited. Success belongs to someone else. A millionaire mind sees the opposite. Opportunities are everywhere. Value can always be created. Wealth is not a zero-sum game. By believing in abundance, you open yourself to possibilities that others overlook. You see potential where others see problems. You find solutions when others see obstacles. Persistence, which we have explored, is inseparable from this key. Wealth does not arrive on the first attempt, nor the 10th. It is forged through consistency, through the willingness to rise again after every failure, to learn, adapt, and improve. The millionaire mindset embraces failure as feedback, as a teacher guiding you toward smarter strategies and stronger resolve. And patience, the companion of persistence, ensures that you do not abandon your efforts prematurely. The universe does not operate on your schedule. True wealth often takes time to materialize. Patience teaches you to wait without anxiety, to trust without control, to work without expectation of immediate results. It is in the patient application of effort that dreams transform into reality. Now consider leverage. The millionaire mind understands that wealth is multiplied through systems, networks, and knowledge. You do not do everything alone. You build teams, you create scalable solutions, you harness resources effectively. You invest not only money, but time and energy in ways that produce compounding returns. Leverage is not just financial, it is mental, emotional, and relational. It is the acceleration of impact. And finally, there is gratitude. The millionaire mind does not wait for achievement to appreciate life. Gratitude transforms perception. It fuels motivation. It opens doors to opportunity, because a person who is grateful attracts abundance naturally. Wealth without gratitude is hollow. Wealth with gratitude becomes a force for impact, purpose, and fulfillment. When all of these elements converge, clarity, discipline, abundance thinking, persistence, patience, leverage, and gratitude, something extraordinary happens. You begin to think like a millionaire. Your decisions shift. Your opportunities shift. Your reality shifts. You no longer chase wealth. You become a vessel for it. You embody the very principles that create it, and in doing so, wealth is drawn to you almost effortlessly. But remember this, the key is not simply knowledge. Many people understand these principles intellectually, yet their lives remain unchanged. Knowledge becomes power only when applied consistently, with courage and integrity. To think like a millionaire, you must live like one, in thought, in action, in value. You must adopt the habits, the mindset, and the discipline that define those who achieve extraordinary success. Ask yourself now, are you ready to step through the door? Are you willing to think differently, act differently, and persist when the world doubts? Are you ready to embrace patience, leverage, and gratitude as tools in your journey? The door is not locked. The key has always been within you. You have cultivated clarity. You have embraced discipline. You have learned to persist and to wait. You have begun to attract abundance through mindset. The final step is integration, making these principles inseparable from who you are. This is the hidden key, not a secret formula or a shortcut, but a way of thinking, a way of living, and a way of creating that naturally manifests wealth in your life. Wealth is not merely a destination. It is the byproduct of a life aligned with purpose, thought, and action. Every decision you make, every habit you cultivate, every thought you entertain, these are the building blocks. And when they are aligned with the principles we have explored, the door swings open, and the life you have imagined becomes your reality. So step forward now, claim the mindset, embody the habits, trust the process, and know this: the wealth you seek is not waiting for luck, timing, or circumstance. It has been waiting for you to become the person capable of receiving it. Your journey does not end here. It begins anew each day, with every thought, every choice, and every action. The millionaire mind is not a final state. It is a continuous evolution, a commitment to growth, resilience, and vision. The hidden key to wealth has always been yours. You simply had to unlock it with focus, discipline, persistence, patience, leverage, and gratitude. Now, as you carry this knowledge forward, you are not only prepared to attract wealth, you are prepared to create a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment beyond measure. And that truly is the ultimate form of wealth. Finale, your journey begins. Take a deep breath and feel this moment. You have traveled through the ideas, the stories, and the principles that transform ordinary thinking into extraordinary wealth. You have explored clarity, focus, discipline, persistence, patience, leverage, gratitude, each a key, each a tool, each a doorway. Now, everything converges here. The knowledge you've gained is not meant to sit idle in your mind. It is alive. It calls for action. It is a spark, waiting for you to strike it into flame. Ask yourself, who do you want to become? What life do you choose to create? The answers are not in the world outside. They are within you, in your thoughts, in your decisions, in the alignment of your mind with your highest vision. You are no longer the same listener who began this journey. You are a thinker, a creator, a person awakening to the hidden power of your mind. Wealth is not a distant destination. It is the reflection of the mindset you now carry forward, the mindset that attracts, builds, and sustains success. Remember this: the universe responds to action aligned with clarity and purpose. It rewards those who persist, who remain patient, who take responsibility for their growth. It opens doors for those who do not merely wait for opportunity, but who prepare themselves to receive it. The journey ahead will not always be easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But now you carry the keys. You know that failure is feedback, patience is power, and consistent action is unstoppable. You know that thinking like a millionaire is not about money alone. It is about mastery, alignment, and transformation. So step forward with courage, move with intention, build, grow, create, and live the life that reflects your vision. Every choice you make from this moment onward carries the potential to shape your destiny. And when you act with purpose, when you persist through challenges, when you embrace the principles you have learned, you unlock not just wealth, but freedom, fulfillment, and a legacy that will endure. This is your time. Your door is open. Your journey is just beginning. The hidden key is in your hands. Turn it and step boldly into the life you were always meant to live. Because true wealth is not just earned, it is thought, it is built, it is lived, and it begins with you.